Welcome back to the South Texan News Desk. As always, I'm your host, Tom Miller. We begin this week in the frequented Nagorno-Karabakh region, which is marked this week by an uneasy tension. On Friday, following 10 hours of deliberations in Russia, Armenia and Azerbaijan agreed to a ceasefire. This ceasefire will provide a period for prisoners to be exchanged and casualties to be removed from the war zone. However, continued accusations of shelling by both sides threaten to tear apart the already fragile deal. Though to be fair, this deal would be tense, shelling or not. Azerbaijan in particular has indicated it expects to push the front lines further, and that the ceasefire would be over once the casualties were removed. Now, whether Armenia will lash back in defense or hope that the Azerbaijani threat is a bluff remains to be seen. In this coming week, Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett will face the Senate to see if she's worthy of a seat on the highest court in the United States. In her pre-hearing remarks, Barrett has vowed she will apply the law as it's written, consistent with her stance as an originalist judge. That term denotes that Barrett considers legal questions against the backdrop of the Constitution as it was intended by the authors of it, rather than looking at more modern interpretations. It's a practice she likely learned from Justice Antonin Scalia, the former Supreme Court judge she clerked for, who held much the same stance. With the slight Republican Senate majority, as well as confirmation of the votes needed, barring a surprise, Barrett has a very good chance of getting elected to the court. South Africa may be approaching the cusp of a new government. Recall in 2018 that the long-reigning President Jacob Zuma was forcibly removed from office. Since then, while Zuma has left very deep cuts of corruption in the South African government, the regime change has given entities like the African National Congress and several anti-corruption efforts to get a foot in the door. This creates a promising situation in South Africa, but a precarious one as well. Like I said, the legacy of Zuma's reign runs incredibly deep, including creating precarious economic situations. Without investors buying into the South African economy, it's extremely unstable. The regime change could be too little too late if South Africa's economy ends up crashing. Finally, there have been several stories about COVID rates increasing in the US. While this is true, it's not an isolated phenomenon. Many were expecting a second wave of the virus to hit once temperatures got colder, thus mimicking the environment COVID would have started in around November and December in China. Many countries in Europe are also seeing spikes in COVID rates, with varied levels of severity. Germany, for example, has had one of the best standings in the region despite having relatively lenient lockdown measures. The Netherlands, on the other hand, has seen very sharp rises in COVID cases. Their lockdown measures were also fairly lenient. So why is Germany doing well and has been doing so well, while the Netherlands are not doing well? And what needs to be done to fix it? These questions and more are the focus of European governments right now, and they are the questions I leave to you this week. That's all we have for you this week, so for more information about the goings-on here on campus, check out the South Texan written right here at TAMOOC, or check us out online on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the South Texan.